I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight the stars and cars of the U.S. Open Wheel Series are going to take on Phoenix Raceway. This show, the U.S. Open Wheel C-Class race, followed up immediately after this by U.S. Open Wheel D-Class racing that took place in the 9 o'clock hour. Do not go away. You don't want to miss it. My name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth tonight by our French buddy, Sebastian Kinder. Seb, I haven't talked to you in forever. How you doing, man?
Happy New Year, Chris!
Yes.
Happy New Year, everyone!
I'll tell you what, man. We're looking forward to this one here. The old Indy Pro cars, or in this case, the U.S. Open Wheel C entries, always put on a fantastic show here at Phoenix, whether you have the dog leg or you don't, as the checkered flag falls on the practice session. Brian Karszewski going to be the quickest of the lot, but I believe the number is 60 cars entered tonight, 3 20-car splits, and Phoenix always gives us something to talk about, especially if you don't have the dog leg. We're going to see these guys side by side for almost the entirety of the lap.
Oh, absolutely. Like, this track is a dream for the redacted pro cars.
Yes. We'll get to that one here in just a minute. But first, let's take a look at the U.S. Open Wheel C Broadcast Series Championship points. Teddy Bird's going to be your leader, 52-42 over David Porcelli. Another 10 back to Carter Lundy in third. Everett Paddock, Nagisa Yoshikawa rounding out the top 5. Nicholas Daly, Sean Malloy, Nikita Lastochkin, Chris Preston, and Aiden Luis Ingrata completing the top 10. As we take a look at the overall standings entering tonight's race, still Teddy B at the top, and it's only a 12-point lead over Carter Lundy. David Porcelli, Nagisa Yoshikawa, Nicholas Daly, Sean Malloy, Everett Paddock, Nikita Lastochkin, Richard Holt, Chris Preston, the rest of your top 10. Your top 3 locked in a pretty good battle. Everybody from 4th on back may be better luck next season. Also, we'll take a very quick look here at the USF 2000 points, where we have a new points leader entering tonight. Carter Lundy by 8 over Ted Burns. David Porcelli, again, kind of the same deal. Top 3 locked in a pretty good battle. But now we got to talk about the racing that's going on here on the racetrack in West Shire. Jumping to the top of the board, 25-38. With a 25.385 seconds for West Shire. Brian Karszewski also completing his run. Let's pick up Andrew Berry. Lap number 1 for Berry, only good for 11th quick as Carl Lemkool moves inside the top 5. New quick time, top of the board, Andrew Berry, 25.374, 25.37 with a 4 for Andrew Berry as we're down to 3 minutes remaining in the qualifying session. The birthday boy heading out onto the racetrack now, James Watson, gonna trip the line for lap number 1, see what Watson can do. Only 19th quick and 7/10 off the pace. May need to see that car come up to pace a little bit here in terms of getting some temperature in the tires and really getting the thing handled out where he wants it to. Jeffrey Stanton also in this race here tonight, as is Nicholas Sudik. A couple of massive iRating guys. Nicholas Sudik coming into tonight's race, a 5670 iRating. Good Lord.
Holy.
5106 for Jeffrey Stanton. 3348 the strength of field for this one here tonight.
What? Repeat the strength of field?
What
is the strength of
3348.
Holy moly.
Insane.
That is insane.
Yeah. This race is going to be wild. There's just no other way to say it. Want to remind everybody, check in on social media, whether you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch. We can get your comments up on the air here. And I have a hunch somebody's going to want to talk to us here at some point in the night.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is... Just look at this. I mean, you may see guys you haven't seen on the road because, you know, there may be some oval specialists in this car, and this is going to be very interesting. Like, I'm very looking forward to this.
Andrew Berry and West Shire were talking setups in the Discord here before we got out onto the racetrack, and I think they found something. West Shire very quick outside of row number 1, only 11 thousandths back of Andrew Berry, who will be your pole sitter here this evening. Brian Karszewski, David Porcelli on row number 2. Frank Wynn, Carl Lemkool on row 3. Teddy B, Ted Burns alongside Jason Owens. Your winner tonight could come from that outstanding 4th row. Same for row number 5, Richard Holt and Everett Paddock, or maybe even row 6. Good Lord, this field is deep. James Watson, Nagisa Yoshikawa, top 11, all within a 1/10 of a second in qualifications. Row number 7 going to be Carter Lundy and Nicholas Sudik. Another of the Team Watson Racing drivers. Keep your eye there on Carter Lundy as well. Simon Fell, Rod Eskew on row number 8. Stephen C. Thompson and Mike Collar on row number 9. Row 10 will have Joseph Heath and Jeffrey Stanton. My goodness, this one is going to be interesting here tonight. We've seen these races at some of these bigger tracks, Seb, where if you lose the draft, you're in deep trouble, and the only thing that's going to save you is a caution flag.
Exactly. The last thing you want in those pack racing is lose the draft. I mean, of course. So expect some early fighting, but things to settle down for a big chunk of the race, and then 15 laps to go. Is of course, as James said, is the wow, 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 wow. The shootout Western style.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the direction that we're going to be looking here, is see who can get to the end. 55 laps is a long race for these Indy Pro 2000 cars, but it's going to tick by in a hurry. Thank you all for watching with us here tonight. We are doing this for you, the fans. And this first lap, as always, is going to belong to you. Andrew Berry jumping out to the early lead over West Shire. David Porcelli, Carl Lemkool, Brian Karszewski, your top 5. Shire not going anywhere here at the front of the field. Man, I'll tell you what, we can go back. Oh, man, well, we can't go anywhere. It's David Porcelli outside of Carl Lemkool off of turn number 2, side by side. Teddy B, Richard Holt as well. Your leaders,
you want to be on the outside when you move.
I was going to say, your leaders are playing nice with each other. Ooh. Wow, is that tight? Good Lord. You don't
Yeah.
even know where to look around this place. A little bit of a slide high from Burns through 1 and 2. Frank Wynn now going to have the look down to the inside. Jason Owens tucked up. Actually, no, that's Frank on the outside. That's Holt down to the inside. Now as Frank Wynn cuts back to the inside of the racetrack.
Despite it just being a pack race, there's still some dirty air to be accounted for. So this is why you're looking at 2 lanes, 3 lanes. They have to look for that clean air.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck. It's almost like you have to go looking for clean air. If you don't, you could potentially be in a world of hurt later on in this race.
Yes. That is so impressive to see. So many cars.
You ain't kidding. Let's bring up the side-by-side here and pick up your race leaders here in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, and we'll keep the big box up for the best battles on the racetrack. Right now, that's going to be Jason Owens looking inside of James Watson. Carter Lundy right there as well. Owens not able to do anything with Watson. In fact, he may lose the spot to Lundy as they get to turn 3. Another guy not making up a ton of ground here yet. Frank Wynn kind of stuck. He's been battling with Richard Holt. They finally get things sorted out here. A little bit deeper in the pack. Everett Paddock, Nicholas Sudik, Mike Collar all battling nose to tail. Jeffrey Stanton up 4 spots. He runs in 16th. Simon Fell, Rod Eskew down 3. They're the early losers along with Everett Paddock. Everett down 4.
Yeah, now this is where things will calm down, because you do not want to lose that draft. You do not want to. So the driver settles down, and they'll wait until the shootout time. I still see some little holes, maybe not big enough to lose the draft, but they need to. If you see like a 5/10 gap, you may start to worry about if you still have to draft.
Top 3, Berry, Shire, and Porcelli, all nose to tail here. Shire really getting a great draft down that back straightaway. Shire may lose a spot here to David Porcelli. Porcelli looks inside. He'll get that pass completed. Now Ted Burns is going to be in this party as well. Oh, man, Teddy B with the big move down to the inside. He wants 3rd.
Wait, so everything I said about calming it down is thrown out of the window.
Yeah, as is sort of expected a little bit here. Now, Burns looking inside of Shire for the 3rd position. Some of this could come down to saving a little bit of tire, though. So we'll bring your leaders, bring your battle up here on the left-hand side. Down on the bottom right, Jason Owens, James Watson, and Richard Holt all battling for position.
I mean, this little battle, this all been because you see a little hole between Frank Nguyen and James Watson. So this profits the guys in that second pack, and if they keep battling like this, they could come back to them, and that would be very interesting.
Berry and Porcelli fighting for the race lead. Not nearly the pack race you're going to see in the U.S. Open Wheel D-Class race coming up next here, but don't go away. You don't want to miss that one. Wild racing for the artists formerly known as USF 2000, now U.S. Open Wheel D. Still a lot to go here, though, in this one. And at some point, you would think, Seb, like, you want to settle down. These guys are running. I mean, let's go to the overhead here. They're running not only side by side, but they're 2 and 3 rows deep. That's bringing guys like Jason Owens, James Watson, and Richard Holt back into the fight.
Exactly, as you just saw, I think James Watson and Jason Owens are now back into that lead pack. So this benefited hugely for that second pack. I don't understand why some of them went to racing so early on, but here we are.
Now, the U.S. Open Wheel C-Class does have caution flags, so yes, you'll get the yellow, but you still have to be able to practice wreck avoidance, and quite frankly, this is one of those kinds of races Wes Shire absolutely despises. He hates the pack racing, but man, does it put on a great show for us.
Oh, absolutely. This car is one of the best on ovals. It's always so entertaining. We're not at Gateway this season, and to me it's a crime because Gateway is the best oval for this car, but even Phoenix, it's amazing to see, especially with the dog leg. I really like how it is.
Yeah, I think not having the dog leg open kind of forces everybody to being a hair smarter. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Because you don't have the option of just dive to the inside here and just throw the car back up onto the racetrack when you get to 3.
Exactly.
Interesting seeing Wes Shire running a little bit higher line there through 3 and 4. Kind of doing the same thing through 1 and 2 as well. Possibly saving a little bit of tire for late in this race. Oh man, Jason Owens almost getting up into James Watson. That forced Watson to at least breathe the throttle a little bit off the 2.
Yeah, I can imagine the sweating. Like, this is... We're sitting here and we say, oh yeah, I mean, they're in pack, they're full throttle. No, this is not easy. The mental side, and yes, fantastic side, but last side here, yeah, you're right, Hughes. The mental strain that this pack racing induces makes you so tired after the race. These guys are putting on a hell of a show, and it's been 20 laps of side by side. Like, kind of the rest of them, they're the best drivers in the sim right now.
Yeah, and I thought we were about to hear a caution call out, but it looks like we will not get one of those. So let's take a look here. Let's go on board with Ted Burns on the side-by-side, currently running 3rd inside of Wes Shire. Good Lord. Hardly a breath of the throttle. The leaders are still side by side. Wes Shire, Ted Burns occupying row number 2. Row 3 going to be Carl Lemkool and Frank Wynn. Jason Owens, Richard Holt, row 4. James Watson, Carter Lundy, row 5. The entire top 10 separated by less than a second.
This feels like a super speedway race at Daytona out at Talladega from the NASCAR Cup Series. You see those 2 lanes, switching lanes. This has
you hit a point where you have to say they can't keep doing this. At some point, you're going to make a mistake. Somebody somewhere is going to make the mistake.
Exactly. Murphy's Law.
Maybe by talking about it, we'll...
Yeah, this is what we call a danger zone right there.
Yeah, just slightly. Tell you what, great run for Wes Shire, keeping that car up in the 3rd position. He's still on the outside, and almost his preferred line at this point. The problem now is that everybody is going to have to get past Andrew Berry. After the TNT Shock Series race on Tuesday night, he was not real thrilled with the outcome of that one. I got a hunch that he's going to be a very difficult guy to pass here tonight. It's easy to make this car wide. I mean, we joke about the Pruitt fade, but that is absolutely a thing in these cars. You slide a little bit one way or the other. Oh, man, almost a little bit of right side romance. David Porcelli on Andrew Berry off of 4. But you can make your car wide and really hold and aggressively defend a position.
Indeed, yeah, this car allows it, and you see a lot of defending.
As we mentioned, coming up next, it's 30 laps right here at Phoenix for the U.S. Open Wheel D-Class cars, and don't go away. Oh my goodness, was that race fantastic. Still now back to being side by side. Porcelli looking inside. He's led 6 circuits tonight. Andrew Berry has led 22. Berry can have a little bit of drafting help from Wes Shire off the corner. Man, are they tight. Oh, they're even tighter down the straightaway. I think Berry led it at the line. He did.
Yeah, Porcelli was isolated there. I think he was the only car on the inside. He's isolated. He has almost no draft help.
Let's bring up the double box again here for you. Everybody else outside the very front of the field has gotten themselves single file. They are doing their best to keep up here at the front of the field. Well, as soon as we say that, a couple of guys picking out, starting to get a little handsy here deeper in the pack. That's going to be Carl Lemkool and Craig Lundy, but they're able to slot back in as the leaders continue their battle. Lundy up 5 spots from where he qualified tonight. Pretty good run, and a guy who does not have a ton of oval experience, especially in the officials. And the top 15 cars are all involved in this pack. Man, Jason Owens up the middle, 3 wide. Frank Wynn looking outside. Nice. He goes 2 for 1. Thank you very much. Race leaders still just running side by side. They'll just keep doing that as we are now past the halfway point. Lap 32 of 55 is on the board. Still Andrew Berry at the front of the field. Porcelli's going to have to work if he wants to get past him. Man, Wes Shire thought about having a peek inside of David Porcelli into 3. A little bit there, discretion, the better part of valor. He wisely backs out.
Oh, I think there's a gap that open, so I think we have now a second pack. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, second pack of cars that's coming up here now, and it's... Well, see, as soon as we turn this off, they go back to fighting side by side for the lead again. Just too much to look at and pay attention to here on the racetrack.
Split screen, we need you.
James Watson fighting with Everett Paddock. Andrew Berry fighting with David Porcelli for the race lead. Nagisa Yoshikawa, Nicholas Sudik battling as well. That's going to be Yoshikawa on the outside in the bottom right. Sudik in that more pink than purple machine. He's down on the inside. As Porcelli grabs the race lead. Berry right back to him. Oh, man, 3 wide back behind him as well. Good Lord. Carter Lundy wants no part of that. Yeah, that's it.
To be part of a free wide Phoenix.
That's it. As soon as they got themselves settled down, the second pack was able to catch right back up.
Berry just not helped. He was alone on the inside, and he got passed by Porcelli and almost by Wes in a single corner. That's
It's kind of interesting. It's almost like Ted Burns doesn't know who to go with at this point. I don't know that you want to give Andrew Berry the shove to the race lead, but it may come down to that you kind of have to go with him because West Shire just not able to do anything on the outside line.
Yeah. As a driver, I think I would have stick to the outside line because I think this is where I would feel the most comfortable. But yeah, on the inside, there's not a lot of help in terms of draft.
Shire a little bit of that Pruitt fade as well. He's making his number 8 machine very wide. Homestead Coffee Roasters, Tales from Rukon on the side of the number 8 machine for West Shire. Downforce Racing's Ted Burns running in the 4th position. Now again, we don't have enough data points yet for all of the championship point standings to be accurate on the iRacing side of things, because we do have some early drop weeks that have come into play. Actually, we have one this week as well. Chris Preston, very good in this race car, does not run the ovals. Doesn't like them, doesn't want to touch them. So, he's going to be a drop week that will count here. But entering the night's race, 812 points for Ted Burns on 4 weeks counted. David Porcelli on 4 weeks counted at 793. Everett Paddock with 5 weeks counted to 747, the point total for Paddock. Oh, man, that's close. Barry right up under the gearbox.
Yeah, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. It's insane how close he was.
How about the numbers on Ted Burns? I mean, I don't... We harp on it, but good Lord, the man has just been a machine.
Comes.
Barry inside of Porcelli. He'll get the pass completed off of turn number 2 with 12 to go. Ted Burns in 4 weeks, he has 15 starts, 13 wins, 15 top 5s, and he's led 226 of 267 laps completed.
Wow.
Ridiculous. Oh, man, Carl Lemkool almost bouncing it off the outside wall. Force Frank Wynn and Richard Holt to get on the binders. James Watson as well. Looks like Lemkool's going to be able to continue. Now as Porcelli looks inside of Barry. And that's tight. We've seen the netcode issues with this car. There's only so much really close you can do before you have to start getting at least a little bit nervous, don't you, Seb?
Yeah, you're talking to the netcode expert right now, and I had netcode issues early this week. Oh yeah, this is back to the Daytona too wide. Yeah, netcode. Yeah, you can't trust netcode.
It's not good.
It's not good.
Barry back inside of Porcelli. Shire outside. Oh, there's contact and West Shire's around. Big crash down the back straightaway. Huge incident. West Shire's going to be involved. Caution is out. That will end this race, at least very likely. To maybe not.
How many laps were the remaining?
8 laps left.
I think it will. I think we will go back. I think like we'll have like 5 or 4 laps to go.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it will be about a 3-car shootout. Let's take a look.
I think we had a lot of cars that were taken in this. I think James Watson was taken in this.
Yes, we have piles of race cars that were involved in this one. Let's take a look here and show you what happened. It started with West Shire off of turn 2, just barely kissed the safer barrier, and all hell breaks loose behind him. James Watson with a big hit. Looked like Frank Wynn also having a big impact. Let's take a look here. Go on board with James Watson just having absolutely nowhere to go.
That's brutal. At this point, what he did was a right shoulder going to the left, but he had no chances to.
Man, this was a big hit. We're going to show you another onboard here. This time with Frank Wynn. He went for a ride.
Whee! I can see my house from here.
Yes.
I mean, I'm laughing, but yeah, that must not be fun for the driver who got taken out.
Well, I say if you're in VR, that is wholly unpleasant.
Ooh, yeah.
James Watson involved in this one. Looks like Richard Holt, Carl Lemkool, Frank Wynn will be the 5 cars that were involved. Yes, it was coming. One way, like we said, we knew it was going to be happening. Now, let's see if we can't get a very quick word in here. No, actually, we are not going to do that because they're going back to green this next time by. Andrew Berry, your race leader, ahead of David Porcelli, Ted Burns, Everett Paddock, and Nicholas Sudik. Great run for Sudik. He's up 9. Stephen C. Thompson up to the 6th position, up 11. He's your hard charger on the night. Mike Holler with a good run as well. He's up 10.
Hit the pace car.
Kylo Ciacelli, you are awesome, buddy. As soon as I show up, the chaos begins, as is tradition. A little bit. It'll be 5 laps to go. Oh, man, Berry brings the field down way slow. That was full Colton Hurd on the restart, but he's going to open up a gap on David Porcelli. Call it 5 car lengths by the time they get to turn 1. Could it be too big of a gap?
I think it's too big to a gap. I don't understand why. You're giving more momentum to the other guys. That is not a good choice for me. Yep, here he comes.
Porcelli's got to have the run. He actually backed out of it. I don't know that Porcelli wants to pass Andrew Berry. This honestly has the feel of I'm going to sit here and wait for it. I will take my shot as late as I possibly can. Worst it happens, you finish 2nd. But if you give Andrew Berry a shot to pass you back, he's going to take it.
Yeah. Right now what you want is set up the run. As I would like to do is just go a little bit wider on the outside in 3 and 4 so you have a better momentum and you can maybe dive down the inside of 1. This is what I like to do in this track.
Ted Burns, Everett Paddock battling for the 4th position.
Here he comes. No?
Porcelli up on the outside. When does he make the move? Down to 2 to go. Porcelli again looks outside, but he does not have any drafting help. You're going to need the shove if you're going to make the outside lane work. By going high, though, maybe trying to force Andrew Berry into a mistake. Andrew Berry's not the kind of guy who's going to make a ton of them. He will make one on occasion, but they are rare.
All right, white flag. This is where all the cupcakes are for.
1 lap to go. Porcelli on the outside. He try the crossover. Not enough momentum off the corner. Berry going to be able to cover down through the dogleg. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. Porcelli looking to the outside. Ted Burns not going to be able to give any drafting assistance. Berry slides up the racetrack. Takes the air off the front of Porcelli. Twin checkers in the air. Andrew Berry wins at Phoenix.
What a shootout.
Fantastic drive from Andrew Berry and David Porcelli. But
Andrew Berry, blood of ice.
Yes, sir. Great drive for that number 3 machine tonight. He will get to burn them down at the start-finish line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened, but like only like the top two were alone in this one, and that really helped Andrew Berry. But he did an incredible job holding David Porcelli behind him. And the Polish victory lap. Yeah, I approve of that.
Yes, I can get behind that one. Great show here from Andrew Berry and David Porcelli, for that matter.
Yeah.
These guys put on a fantastic show. Let's take a look at the race results. Oh, man, who was that?
Yeah, that was still a
Andrew
contract?
Berry.
Wow.
Berry Porcelli, 6/100ths of a second at the line. Ted Burns, a mile back at a half second. 3 cars within half a second for the podium. Nicholas Sudik and Everett Paddock, your top 5. Nice run for Everett. Good run there, up 5 positions. Sudik up 10. 6 through 10 going to be Stephen C. Thompson, Nagisa Yoshikawa, Mike Collar, Jason Owens, and Jeffrey Stanton. Stephen C. Thompson, your hard charger of the race, plus 11. Carter Lundy coming home in the 11th position. Brian Karszewski, 12th. 13th to Simon Fell. 14th, Rod Eskew. And the 15th and final car on the lead lap is the number 18 of Joseph Heath. Richard Holt, Carl Lemkool, Frank Wynn, and James Watson will round out the field here this evening. Wes Shire coming home in the 20th position. Looks like Wes possibly having a bit of a meatball there that he did not clear. Came across the line in 18th, officially scored in 20th. Great show tonight. Let's take a look here and, well, let's get ready first and foremost for our Victory Lane interviews here. And we'll start things off with our race winner tonight, Andrew Berry. And, man alive, I'll tell you what, bud, great battle with David there for those last handful of laps, but really the whole race, just great fights at the front of the field.
Yeah, it was a good time. The car was dialed in. I had a blast. It was just mainly a challenge of monitoring my right rear to make sure I didn't cook it. I think I got a little squirrely a couple times, but never anything too bad. So yeah, it was a fun time.
That late race caution is one I'm pretty sure you did not want to see, other than the fact that it gave you a chance to control the restart. Brought the field down slow. Ultimately, I don't know, you opened up a great gap at the start of that last section, those last handful of laps. But you were fighting off David by the time he got off at 2. Do you maybe do anything different on that restart? I mean, I guess not if you're sitting in victory lane.
No, I think the nature of the track means that like he's gonna get me off of 2, he's gonna get me off of 4. It's just more managing where he is on track. I had a good feeling as long as I could keep him from making a pass on the inside late in the race that I could hold him off, and yeah, I held it a lane off the wall for the last couple of laps, and it seemed to do the trick. So yeah, it was a good race.
It seemed like that was the big one, was make the car as wide as possible, and you were able to do that tonight with some success, a lot late in the race, but during the course of the race, it seemed like you could get drafting help on the outside and kind of get the shove past whoever was trying to defend the inside.
Yeah, I think honestly, I was probably, I don't know if maybe no one else was flat out and won. I was mostly flat out and won the whole race. And I could tell that at least Porcelli was lifting, which is, I think that's why I was able to get such a good run and won on everyone else, because I was basically flat. I would do like a little confidence lift, and that was about it. So yeah, it was, I didn't expect to have that much of an advantage in that corner, but I'm not going to complain.
Well, I'll tell you what, bud, fantastic drive here tonight. Congratulations on picking up the win. And before we let you go, make sure you get all your sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of.
Yeah, just thanks for putting on the show, and yeah, it was a good time.
All right, bud, well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here for at least a few minutes. And man, that one was good. Now let's talk to the guy who came home in the second position. A really, really good drive tonight, ultimately coming up just a tick short for David Porcelli. Man, I'll tell you what, David, it was a great run. Ultimately, just not enough help with the push there after that restart.
Well, yeah. I once we got that yellow, I decided to take a step back and just keep Ted behind me. I have a championship to win here, and this is probably one of the highest strength of field oval races we've had, or that I can remember at least. So really excited to be able to grab some points and secure that position.
Yeah, that's a big one. When you start to think big picture like that, on with only having 2 oval weeks, does that have to change your thought process a little bit at all? I mean, obviously, racing a guy like Andrew, he's not running for the overall championship. Kind of changes things.
Right,
You're running the guy who's behind you, not necessarily for the win.
Right, exactly. Wins are always critical because they have that extra separation. You know, you get a little bit more difference in points, first versus second, then second versus third. But like I said, you know, I'm not competing with Andrew for the championship right now. It's more important to bring home that second, secure the points, make sure I finish in front of Ted and Everett and Carter, so that I'm a little bit more comfortable heading into the next oval race. Not only do we only have 2 oval races, but it's, you know, under these circumstances. So it looks like it's increased the participation quite a bit.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. And congratulations on picking up the podium finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous and taken care of.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris. Let's see. Shout out to Team Watson Racing, Satellite Racing. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hi to the family, Racecraft One Indianapolis. Thanks to National Racing Network for putting on an awesome broadcast every week, and I hope to see you guys in the booth next week.
All right, bud. Well, we appreciate you coming and hanging out with us here for at least a few minutes. Now I got to find where there's our third place finisher here this evening. Guy put on a heck of a show and had a great view of the battle going on in front of him. Ted, congratulations on the podium here. And I would think a little bit maybe discretion, the better part of valor. You're trying to hold off Everett behind you, catch the guys in front. Third is good sometimes.
Yeah, it was. I was just starting to make a move for the lead when that yellow came out there. Luckily, I think I got some net code there from Wes because I got a 4X out of it, but somehow was able to drive out of that, and then I just couldn't get the front tires working after the yellow there. It took 3 laps for him to come in, so I was just trying to hang on and stay in front of Everett, and they finally came in a little bit too little, too late. So it was like a great battle up front, and it was a fun drive all race.
Well, it's going to make 16 top 5 finishes in 16 starts this season. No laps led tonight, not picking up another win, but all in all, kind of doing what you have to do if you want to win a championship here. David's giving you a hard time for it, but once we start to really get all the drop weeks factored in, this one could actually be pretty big late in the season.
Yeah, for sure. It's coming down. It's going to be really close because even on these weeks where I get a third place, he's either right in front of me or he's right behind me. So it's really going to come down to every single point. So we really got to maximize all these high point weeks. And for being an oval, this was awesome seeing 200 points on offer for the win. Huge implications.
Yeah, in a very big way. And congratulations on picking up a podium here tonight. Once again, Thursday night date night for you and I having the conversation here on the podium. Man, we appreciate you coming to hang out with us. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
For sure. Got to thank Downforce Racing. We had a couple fast cars out there. Couldn't quite get the track position to get it done, but it was a lot of fun. Thanks you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast. Can't wait to go back and watch it.
All right, man. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And with that, time for us to get ready to head on over for U.S. Open Wheel D-Class Racing. Don't go anywhere. U.S. Open Wheel C was fantastic. The U.S. Open Wheel D race was absolutely insane. We are going to take a very short commercial break. We'll be right back with U.S. Open Wheel D here from Phoenix. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the U.S. Open Wheel Doubleheader right here on the National Racing Network.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
All right, everybody, welcome back here to National Racing Network's live coverage of the U.S. Open Wheel D-Class Series race. If you liked the C-Class race, you are going to love what we have in store here for U.S. Open Wheel D. These are the cars that were formerly known as USF 2000. Practice is out on the racetrack right now. Qualifying will begin in just a moment. And Seb, one of the big things here with these cars, they are the same weight, the same size, basically almost the same chassis. The big difference is they are way down on power. In fact, about 100 horsepower down from where the Indy Pro cars, the U.S. Open Wheel C-Class cars are. That makes a big difference because these guys are going to run as a pack. There's no doubt about it. The draft is huge. They don't have the power to get away. It's going to be a pack race.
Yeah, a pack race. Like, just take the risk, you just watch. And it's more ridiculous.
Yeah,
this will be very fun for us, but I don't think for the drivers it will be very fun.
Yeah, nerve-wracking to say the least. Let's take a look here as we get ready for qualifying. We'll bring up the championship point standings for the US F2000 series as they get ready to roll. And entering this race, obviously this race has already run, but we don't update the points, so the broadcast continuity thing is good. Carter Lundy entering the night as your new points leader by 8 over Ted Burns. David Porcelli going to be 8 points back in the third position. A tie for fourth, Nicholas Daly, Nagisa Yoshikawa 18 back. Jerome Lamy, Ben Holko, Richard Holt, Matt Clark, and Chris Preston rounding out the top 10. Preston will not score tonight because we mentioned in the C-Class race does not do oval weeks. Chris Preston does not. Let's take a look here and pick up Jeffrey Stanton on the timing tower. He will be carrying the number 1 here tonight. Highest I-rated driver in the field, and he is coming in 5104. 3460 is the I rating on this one. As good.
Wow,
Yeah, this is a D-Class race. D-Class races with I ratings almost 3,500. Yes, please. Three and a half minutes left. Ted Burns going to be quick timer. Now Frank Wynn moves to the top. Now Carter Lundy jumps to the top of the board. 27.105 seconds. Ted Burns, new quick time, 27.094. Good Lord. Let's pick up Carl Lemkool as he's making his way around the racetrack. Carter Lundy going to be second quick. 1/100th of a second off the pole. Nagisa Yoshikawa, James Watson, Frank Wynn, your top 5. I'll tell you what, this is sort of, nights like this, Seb, are kind of like a meat grinder for these drivers because you run this race at 9 o'clock in a lower horsepower car, then you're going to turn around and have to run a higher horsepower car in the 10 o'clock hour. There's not a lot of downtime in between, maybe a few laps of practice. This is tough for these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, connection issues.
That's awesome. 2 minutes remaining in the qualification session. Here is Brian Karszewski in car number 12 making his way out onto the race course. He will come around and see the green flag to start his qualification attempt. Joseph Heath also entered in this one as car number 15. He does not get out onto the racetrack just yet, as we are down to 2 minutes left in the qualification session. How about first to 10th, 6/100ths of a second?
Are you kidding me?
Sure. Let's go. Let's get after this. This is going to be ridiculous. If this is what we're actually going to see here. Lap number 1 for Karszewski goes onto the board, and it will be good for 12th quick. 27 with a triple 3 at the end. 27:33 with a 3. The lap time of record
Nice.
for Brian Karszewski. See what lap number 2 is going to look like for the 12 machine. Off at turn number 4, checkered flag in the air. Karszewski moves up to 7th quick. 27.147. 1/1000th of a second slower than Frank Wynn. 2 1/1000ths quicker than Jason Owens in 7th. Ridiculous.
I think we'll say ridiculous a lot of time. As a US open wheel driver would say, this is crazy, 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 crazy.
Yeah, you can say that again. Qualifications are over. It is time to go racing. Joseph Heath elects not to set a time. He will start this one from the back of the field. James Watson going to be one of the first cars out onto the grid. Let's take a look here at our starting lineup for tonight's U.S. Open Wheel D-Class Series race. Going to be Ted Burns lining up alongside Carter Lundy. 10/1000ths of a second separating the front row.
Jesus.
Nagisa Yoshikawa, James Watson on row number 2. How about 400ths of a second separating the top 4? This is ridiculous. Frank Wynn, Jason Owens on row 3 as the D-Class engine revvers are going nuts. Yes. Brian Karszewski, David Porcelli on row 4. Wes Shire, Andrew Berry on row number 5. Row 6, Richard Holt and Jeffrey Stanton. Row 7 will have Carl Lebkuhl and Indy Cassie. And row number 9, Joseph Heath, who did not set a lap in qualifications. Now, you hear the engines revving. Some of that is to burn excess fuel off. These cars, Seb, it's a fixed setup race and a caution-free race. So if they wad the field up, you better be good at avoiding the wreck, because you're not going to get a caution, and you have to hope everybody that was in the wreck is smart enough to get themselves off the racetrack.
Well, on this split, I don't think we'll have to worry about that, because these guys are pretty high level, and again, like D-Class, and we have such a high strength of field. That is insane. Also, a little like shout out to the improvement in participation in both US Open Wheel C and D. That is now the earlier European time split can go official, and that is pretty good. Especially if you're a lousy Frenchman like me that doesn't want to stay up late at night because he has life and classes.
Yeah, you're just deranged. Jason Owens checking in the comments. If you thought that Indy Pro race was crazy, just wait to see what happens in the USF race. Yeah, 90210 is giving me shit in the comments. Yes. That was 4 crazies for the record. Yes, I would agree with that. You know, sometimes I look at a text and think, what a psychopath. That is correct. Still hit send, brother. Always hit send.
Yeah, you gotta lick the stamp and send it.
Apparently, a French guy going full Aussie. Danny Rick up in the booth with me tonight. Pace car is off. Green flag going out. First lap of this one. Gonna be all yours. Yeah, they're down on the apron as well.
My eyes did not deceive me there.
No, they did not. Carter Lundy leading lap number 1 over Ted Burns. James Watson, Nagisio Ishikawa, Jason Owens, your top 5. Side-by-side battle, going to be back for the 5th position, but now Burns having a look inside of Lundy. He wants the race lead off of 4, and he's going to get it. The problem is if the leaders start passing each other, everybody else is going to get the great suck and pull right back into this thing. That's what we see James Watson doing here off of 2. He's got choices
Welcome to the
now.
Drive Central. Welcome to the Drive Central, you little baby.
Okay, great question here from 90210. So what are the chances that Tony leaves Gene holding the bag when Kevin retires at the end of the season? I don't think so. At least it won't be because Kevin Harvick retired that Tony Stewart pulls out of Stewart Haas Racing. He just is not a fan of NASCAR in general. Big move inside. How about Jason Owens looking inside of Watson? Off of 4, 2 by 2 by 2 in the head of the field.
Yeah, like Jason Owens move full cha-cha-cha-cha-cha between those cars. That is insane. That is insane.
And so now, 9th place Brian Karszewski is getting this great tow. He's going to pull back in. Jeffrey Stanton, Richard Holt, all those guys back there in what was a second pack that had formed, they're out back there licking their chops because at this point, they're 3 wide at the front of the field.
Are you kidding me?
Is Kinder half a dozen bottles of sparkling wine deep at this time?
No, I'm not!
No, he's sleep deprived.
You don't want to know what's working inside that French body.
So the first pack is behaving themselves. Let's take a look overhead from the NRN drone. They are lined up for now. Well, we say that. Now they're back out of line again. 3 wide, turn number 3. That was Porcelli looking way up to the high side. Almost contact between Burns and Lundy off of 4. Here comes Porcelli. 3 wide into 1. Great run for Porcelli down the straightaway.
Wow! It keeps continuing. It keeps happening and happening and happening and happening.
Oh, wow! Big move there, Teddy B. What a save into turn number 3, but he's going to lose a half dozen spots in the process here. Goes from 1st to 6th in the span of just a couple quarters.
Here I found the Redacted Pro 2000 was the danger zone. This is... Wow.
My goodness.
Yeah, I love when they go cha 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 cha.
Hold on. 90210 is going to use a word in the comments that I'm not sure that we're allowed to use anymore. Doesn't feel like a real IndyCar broadcast. You didn't yell "whoa" loud enough.
Wait, no, cut it. You said the I word. You said the I word.
He said that word. Oh, buddy, Jason Owens. He goes full Kyle Busch into turn 1. I'll go top to bottom, 2 for 1. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
They almost throw 3 wide in that entire pack. Are you kidding me? This is not going to end well.
Yeah, and it's funny, you alluded to Daytona earlier, and it sort of is Daytona-esque. Talladega, this is crazy wide. You can go 7, 8 wide, no problem. Daytona, you just can't do it. But they'll run 3 wide like this at Daytona all day long, and as a broadcaster, you can't get too excited over this because it's just what they're doing.
Yeah, James had a really close moment. I think he almost wrecked it.
19 laps to go, approaching the halfway point in this 30-lap race. Still 3 wide for the race lead. Nobody wants to go up top. Well, other than Carter Lundy, I think it is, up at the very top. It's either Lundy or Owens. Yeah, it's going to be Lundy at the top.
Come on.
We're turning laps at 130, 140 mile an hour and 3 wide. How about 4 wide? Turn 1, Stanton to the inside.
Are you kidding me?
Stanton backed out of it. Now the whole field's going to bottle up back behind. Top 2 still side by side. Everybody stays clean. Stanton dips a couple of tires down onto the apron. Entrance to 3.
This is a keg of powder, and
yeah,
the spark is really near to make it all explode. It only takes one little mistake, and boom, there goes the field.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of feel to it. Like, you just can't make the mistake, and any mistake that does get made is going to be huge. There's just no 2 ways about it. Matt Wagner, that sucks. To get the comment up here, I was going to race this, but Storm knocked out my power.
Oh, that sucks. And
Sorry
here
to hear
comes
that,
the
buddy.
following car.
That's Owens down to the
again.
inside. Again, 3 wide through 1 and 2. This time Owens slides up the racetrack, as does Porcelli, forces Lundy to wisely back out at the exit of 2. That could have been ugly.
I approve that valve volume Penske, by the way.
14 cars in 1 pack of just ridiculousness. Here's
And here we go
Porcelli
again.
down to the inside, 3 wide into 1.
This is just, oh shit, here we go again, all over, every time.
Just past the halfway point. 19 laps on the board. 12 remaining here at Phoenix. 3 wide back for about the, I guess, 6th position. Man alive, the way these guys are wiggling off at 2.
Yeah. Yeah, they're playing with fire. They're playing with everything that you should not play. This is made by professionals. Please don't try this at home.
Can confirm. Oh, man. Porcelli almost got it twice. Owens on the outside. Lundy looking up the inside.
And here we go again, 3 wide.
Porcelli
Wow,
slides way
what a run.
up the racetrack. Great drive for Lundy through 3. He'll easily take the lead.
I mean, he's just like, well, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Oh,
nobody
wow,
else wants
so
it. I'll
backed
take
up.
it.
How can they race like this?
I mean, it's crazy. It's only 1.3 seconds separating first from 14th on the grid. Oh, bobble from Porcelli. Forces Lundy up the racetrack in 3. Down the front straightaway. Still 3 wide into 1. My goodness.
God, this...
Oh, they're bouncing off each other off at 2.
They're about to wreck. This is not going to keep. If it's the
Good Lord,
leader
man.
who wrecked the
Andrew Berry is looking at this going 4 wide, 4 wide, 4 wide. I got it.
Yeah, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Oh.
Ted Burns back up to the race lead. He's led 7 circuits tonight, 16 for David Porcelli. He will be your lap leader for the night. No bonus points on offer for that. Oh, there's contact!
Oh, there goes!
Big hit down into the front straightaway wall. Big hit to the back of the pack as well. Multiple cars going to be involved. No cautions. 7 laps to go.
It was bound to happen, Chris. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, that was it. But now you can't. Without the caution flag, there's no way to turn your eyes away from this. Is it going to be a 2-horse race, or is James Watson going to have a shot at this at the front?
If they keep fighting like this, James Watson has a chance to come back on them.
And they don't have to take each other out to do it. Watson's just going to get the toe. Oh, Porcelli trying to shove Lundy wide through 3. Carter Lundy looks back to the inside now. Porcelli has to give up the lane. 5 to go here at Phoenix.
And there's 3 cars that are arriving, just like, hey, do you have a place for 3 more?
Down to 7 cars remaining on the racetrack as it stands right now. 5 of those 7 in a pack for the lead. David Porcelli, Carter Lundy, James Watson, Jeffrey Stanton, Frank Wynn. And the battle at the front has brought James Watson back in. He's only about 5 car lengths back as they get off at turn number 2 with 4 to go. You can only go 3 wide for so long.
Yeah, tell me about it, yeah. That is.
We say that, and they're going to go 3 wide for 3rd, 4th, and 5th back behind him as now lap traffic comes back out onto the racetrack, coming past Andrew Berry. Also,
how do you want to bet that 5 wide? Did they go 5 wide?
2 to go, and lap traffic is in front. Could it come into play?
It will. No, because I think the track is wide enough, and the leaders. Ooh!
Oh, a little bit of a squeeze off it too, but everybody scoots through cleanly. Does Watson have anything for these race leaders? Lundy holding on the outside. Porcelli fights back inside. White flag is out, 1 to go. They're making contact off of 4.
No time to surrender, even if it's the white flag.
Oh, and a big slide! Big slide up the racetrack by Carter Lundy. That's going to put James Watson to 2nd. He's going to have a huge toe down the back straightaway. Can Watson do anything with Porcelli? Way to the outside. Nothing coming this time off of turn number 4. Twin checkers will go up. David Porcelli gets the win at Phoenix.
What a race!
James Watson, Carter Lundy come home 2nd and 3rd to complete your podium. Frank Wynn and Jeffrey Stanton round out the top 5.
Jeez almighty.
Yes, please.
Are you kidding me?
We need more of this. I know it helps the participation maybe a little, but I don't care. Give us another oval for these cars.
More ovals. More ovals. This is what we always say for this redacted series that really hates us. Or yeah,
that's
more
it.
Ovals. There's more ovals.
David Porcelli here. Well, what is he doing? Oh, he's going to do the donuts on pit lane.
That is forbidden, sir. That will be a fine, and
oh, look at that. He's drawing hearts. Drawing hearts with the rear tires on the number 4 machine.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that cute? Impressive there from David Porcelli. Now let's take a look at the race results. The donuts slowing down the computers. Good Lord. Porcelli, the winner by 1/4 of a second over James Watson. Carter Lundy completes the podium. Guy who loves the broadcast points having a very good night here with Ted Burns finishing in the 9th position. Frank Gwynn, Jeffrey Stanton complete the top 5. Indy Cassie and Richard Holt, the final cars on the lead lap. West Shire 8th, 1 lap down. 2 laps down, 9th, 10th, and 11th belong to Ted Burns, Brian Karszewski, and Joseph Heath. 3 laps down in 12th will be Andrew Berry, Carl Lemkool, 5 laps down in 13th. 14th to Nagisa Yoshikawa, and 15th Jason Owens. Both of those drivers finishing 6 laps down. Race that took about 17 minutes to finish. Yes. I kind of want to go run some D-Class fixed now at Phoenix.
Yeah, not me, Burley. I don't. This is fun to watch, but I don't think that's very fun for those drivers.
Oh,
the mental drain.
Oh yeah,
the mental drain for these guys. Like, and they did. Some of them did redacted Pro 2000 after that. So this is huge respect to them.
Yeah, this one was fun. I mean, the fact that we went, 25 laps of the 30, 3 and 4 wide with no contact. Yeah,
that is.
It was crazy, man. I went that entire 30 laps without saying the word crazy, by the way, just to screw with you people in the comments.
No, you did say crazy one time.
Damn! I tried. Jason Owens saying feels bad, man. 90210, as Ayrton Senna famously said, if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. If you go for a gap that no longer... it just keeps going forever and ever. Yeah.
Can you get James right away in the broadcast booth, please?
Yeah, I think we can do that. You can feel free to drag him up here too. Let's see. Let's find him here. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. We got him with us, and Jason Owens in the booth with us.
Okay, so
James, hold on first. James, happy birthday, bud. I'm not going into the details here on the air, but cluster foxtrots happening here at NRN World Headquarters tonight. James, happy birthday. Congratulations. A hell of a podium finish, man.
Yeah, I was amazed I didn't get killed in that one. That always seems to be how it goes in the SOF nights, but yeah, I guess I consecrated all my luck into that one because I thought I was getting involved in that big one. I saw them go into the wall, and I'm just like, please don't come back up, please don't come back up, please don't come back up.
I'll tell you what, James, by missing both of those, I think you used up all the good juju, because the second race, the C-Class race, unfortunately getting caught up in the wreck off of 2, sucks, but ultimately you have a podium, good way to celebrate the birthday, and actually you got a package going out in the mail for you tomorrow as well.
Excellent. Yeah, it was, I had a good performance. I didn't fall under 4K, so ultimately, if you would have told me how the night went, I would have been okay. The PM18 obviously does suck with how close I was to missing that wreck and ultimately getting caught up with circumstances out of my doing, but that's how she goes sometimes, you know.
James, are you able to pull the feed up here? Because we have a comment that we need you to see.
I do not have the feed with me. I'm very curious to see what that comment is.
Well, Matt Wagner's checking in saying, good race, watching it in the dark. His power went out or he would have been driving tonight. Dang it, James, you messed up turn 3.
Oh, yeah. That's what he's talking about. I tried to go around the outside of Porcelli going into 3 on the last lap, but the line I took, it just trying to cross his wake. I just lost all front grip and it just slid up. In hindsight, I probably should have tried the inside, but I wasn't exactly prepared to be in that position. I was just kind of happy to be there for the most part.
I mean, Porcelli was keeping that inside real tight, so...
Yep. Yeah, so I don't realistically think I could have done any more than what I could have.
I mean, yeah, because you got jumped into that second place very suddenly, because you see the guy who was in second just got right in front of you, and you have almost no time to prep and overtake for the lead. So yeah, you also had lack of preparation for you.
Let's bring in the former CM Jason Owens into this discussion as well here. I'll tell you what, I don't know if it was JO6, JO69, JO420, whatever it was,
Nice.
driving in the U.S. Open Wheel D-Class Series race, but hell of a show, and ultimately things go boom late in these kind of pack races.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it's like. Not to sound too cliche, even though I'm gonna use it, it is what it is, right? Like, I still, you just can't bump draft. I think that's what it
Don't
comes
bump
down
draft.
to. Don't bump draft. But no, I was happy with how I drove. You know that like these are a bigger roll of the dice than going to Vegas and rolling rolling craps. Like these are literally a roll of the dice, and it's all about being aggressive and getting lucky. And it was a blast. I had fun in both races. I just wish the Indy Pro race had been about 5 laps longer because with my fresh tire, brand new front wing, I hope you got a little chance to see Jeff and I make up about 10 spots there in 5 laps.
Yeah, well, caught a little bit of it, but the battling was so darn good at the front of the C-Class race that it was a little bit that we couldn't take our eyes off of. But I'll tell you what,
no doubt.
Can we please get more ovals?
More ovals!
You got to talk to
More
iRacing
ovals!
on that one because they're the ones that said 2 ovals. So I wish there were enough ovals in iRacing that there could be a Indy Pro and USF oval only option like Indy Fixed has.
That would be fun. But I also think there's some that we're just not taking into consideration. I mean, it would be silliness, but these guys could run Bristol. They could run Martinsville.
Dear God.
There's
Yes,
a lot of
subscribe to
racetracks.
Martinsville.
There's a lot of racetracks that are just going untouched by these, especially the D-Class cars.
I mean, you're speaking my language because I'm pretty sure your viewers have a treasure trove of archived videos of the TNT Shock series that has run at both Bristol multiple times and at Martinsville that they could go watch right now.
That is correct. The full archive available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/National Racing Network. Shameless plugs and whores. I'll tell you what, boys, this one was fun. Next week, let's get all three of your input on this. A new venue.
Hold it. Now, before we go to the post race, I would, because there's a reason why I asked for you to bring James up in there, because it's James's birthday. And yeah, James already told you happy birthday, but I wanted to say something to you. This whole Team Watson Racing adventure, this was something that started at the end of one of my darkest periods. Trying to figure who I want, what I wanted, and iRacing was there, and the team was there for me to have fun when in the period where I didn't have a lot of fun. And this adventure helped me be more confident in myself, trying to be more me, and that has helped me tremendously in both real life and on the internet. And I wanted to say, without you, that wouldn't have been possible. So big thank you and happy birthday.
Your words mean a lot, Seb. Truly. I don't know what my life would be right now without anyone in Team Watson Racing or TNT or NRN or RIL. Growing up as the weird loner kid that no one really wanted to associate with, I just kind of got used to being on my own and not really interacting with everyone. So to have such incredible friends behind me, by my side, just being able to have you guys to talk to and have your guys' support, to consider you guys, a lot of you guys, family at this point. I can't begin to describe how special that is. and how unexpected.
Well, now that we're getting all misty-eyed over here, let's those tears are going to freeze next week because we're heading off to Norway. The last time we were there was visiting Hell and the Lankebaan for one of the TNT special events races. Skippy Cross. We need to do that one again, by the way. But Rudskogen in Norway, a new layout, a fast layout is what it looks like, especially for the D-Class cars. But so many unknowns. Jason, let's come to you first on this one. Is there any idea what to expect next week?
I'm full of cliches tonight. Expect the unexpected. I think it's going to be a blast to watch. Obviously, I won't be in the race, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and Seb, we'll come to you here. We'll finish up with James, but how do you approach going to a new venue like that? I mean, do you try to turn a ton of laps, or is it just kind of one of those deals of you got what you got and have fun with it?
If you want to be serious about it, turn a lot of laps because this Rudskogen is a very technical track. For these cars, it will be perfect. This track was made for GT4s, very low open wheels. So expect some very fun racing. Not a lot of overtakes because there's not a lot of overtaking hotspot, but expect some technical driving and some fun.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. It's not like any track you're used to. Like you can't really have a baseline set of experience and expectations. And there's a lot of elevation change, a lot of high-speed corners, a lot of low-speed corners, fair amount of hairpins. It's kind of a crazy mix of corners. It's a blast, but it's definitely a curveball. I don't know though. My only experience around Rudskogen is in a street stock. Twice.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. I am looking forward to taking some time and building some cameras this week. I've been poking around with it a little bit. It's a really interesting place because you can actually cover the entire racetrack with about 4 cameras. The way it kind of runs, it's sort of on a hill, but it kind of just doubles back on itself in a lot of ways. It's going to be a really interesting race to watch next week for the U.S. Open Wheel D and C class races. I'm looking forward to it. I think everybody else is too. One last time, happy birthday, James Watson. Go get yourself
happy birthday.
Something. Are we allowed to say cocaine and hookers? I guess I just did. So have fun with it, buddy.
You know damn well I'm too boring to deal with any of that. You should know me well enough by now.
Can confirm. All right, boys, let's get the heck on out of here. Fantastic show tonight. With that, we're getting out of here. Big news dropping next weekend at the Motorsports Expo and Trade Show, Motorsports 2023, right outside of Philadelphia. We will have a big announcement coming to you from the floor of the show. Look for that one on Friday night. This one's going to be it's going to be a very, very big year for the National Racing Network, especially if you're a fan of the iRacing stuff. We'll give you a little teaser there. But with that, we're getting the heck on out of here. For James Watson, Sebastian Kinder, my buddy Patrick Byrne-Bizzle helped out tonight and was absolutely dying the entire time. We appreciate you, bud. Hope you're feeling well. And everybody else here at the National Racing Networks that makes these shows happen. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.